So this past weekend, I went to see Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
So I have never seen any of the Mummy movies. Never seen any of the Brendan Fraser ones or any of the classic movies from decades ago. Only reason this interested me was because I knew that this director, Lee Cronin, also made Evil Dead Rise, which I also haven't seen but have heard good things about. Needless to say, I went into this ready to judge it on its own merits, and while this was pretty fun to watch, it ultimately ended up being a pretty mixed bag. The story here follows a family whose daughter is found in a sarcophagus after going missing 8 years ago, and upon returning home, things begin to take a strange and terrifying turn. To start off, the strongest aspect about this film is the level of gore on display. There are a number of scenes that are done so disgustingly well that definitely added to the tension present during the story. And for the most part, I was pretty intrigued with what was going on in the story. On one side, you have this family drama where everyone is trying to hold it together dealing with this family member in their current state. On the other side, you have this investigation plot going on that slowly unravels what the tagline asks, what happened to Katie? Unfortunately, I don't think this movie did a very good job at merging these two storylines. There were a number of times, especially later on, where the tension in one storyline would start escalating only to be abruptly cut off by switching to the other storyline, and this got a bit frustrating the more it happened. Even more frustrating was how many dumb decisions were being made by some, if not all, of the characters. Like, look, I can buy a parent not wanting to get rid of their daughter that's been missing for years, but there comes a point in this movie where I just kept wondering, how is this still going on? And on top of that, and this is slightly more positive, all of this felt like it was more of a combination between Evil Dead and The Exorcist with only a hint of the Mummy. And I say slightly positive because even though this ended up being quite derivative at the end of the day, those same aspects still made for a pretty entertaining watch when I just embraced it for the time being. Doesn't make the film as a whole that much better, but I can't pretend I didn't enjoy myself.
Overall, Lee Cronin's The Mummy doesn't really have an identity of its own. It takes aspects from two different franchises without really honing in on what the title would suggest. That said, those same derivative aspects still made for a pretty fun watch on top of a disgusting level of gore that makes the missed potential of this film just a little more tolerable.